Dobar dan, dragi prijatelji, med vami se pokutim kot doma. Dear Matej, dear Loise, dear Ludmila, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends from our Christian Democratic Party in Slovenia. It's great to be here. It's great to be part of this anniversary, the 13th anniversary of the founding of our Christian Democratic Party, New Slovenia, here in Slovenia. It's great to be part of this event this morning. First of all, let me underline that when we as Christian Democrats are coming together and considering about our common idea, about our common values, then please have in mind that this is not only a Slovenian development, it is an European-wide development. We as Christian Democrats, we are part of a European-wide family where we share the common ideas, the common convictions, the common value base for the future of our societies and for the future of our continent. I underline this because having the European dimension in mind, there is so much criticism towards Europe, towards Brussels going on. Everybody is blaming Brussels and Europe for everything. And yes, there is a need to criticize and also to reform for the future. But sometimes I have the feeling that people forget a little bit about what Christian democracy achieved in the last decades on European level for all of our citizens. And what do I mean with this? I mean with this that we have now a European Union which is united with two main principles. One principle is that we are today all over Europe living in a European Union where we can guarantee for the citizens the basic principle of freedom. And I must tell you that you as Slovenians, especially your party, and I want to mention Loise Peterle again, and all of the other friends who fought for decades for a free Slovenia, they achieved this, that today we can live in freedom all over Europe. That is a great achievement, and only 30 years ago we did so. Congratulations for this. And the second principle we achieved is that we are living today in a Europe of peace. 75 years, Matej spoke about this, 75 years of peace in Europe. And I must share with you one consideration. You saw Joseph Daul, our party president on European level. He is from Alsatian, from France. And he told me once when he was a young boy, he was at home in his farm, he is a farmer, he was home in his farm, and his father told him after the Second World War, when Adenauer and de Gasperi, when they are asking us to, together with de Gaulle, when they are asking us to create peace between Germany and France, then his father told him, I will never again work together with Germans, because after the Second World War, I, as a French citizen, have so much negative things in mind, that's why I will never work together with the Germans. But he continued to speak. He said, you, Joseph Daul, you are the next generation for Europe. You have to go to the Germans. You have to fight for a Europe which is creating peace. We have to stop the situation that every generation has to go to war. And ladies and gentlemen, I am 46 years old. I am the first generation on this continent who can say that I am living in a Europe, the first generation who can say that I live in a Europe which is all over Europe, united in freedom and in peace. And that is such a great achievement, and we did it as Christian Democrats, Adenauer, de Gasperi, Schuman, and Alois Peterle, and a lot of others. We did it together to achieve this Europe, and we are proud of today's Europe, ladies and gentlemen. This Europe is under attack from nationalists, from populists again, who tell people that we don't need Europe. And everybody who wants to have a proof what happens if you take Europe into question can look to our British friends. And Brexit, you can see every day what it means. You have economic uncertainty and you have a political chaos in London every day, what we see there. That's why it's better to stay together and to reform Europe. And that is what I want to do. As next Commission President, I thank you, Matteo, again, for the support, the whole party, for the support for my person in our Congress in Helsinki, where I got the nomination from my party. And we have clear ideas to reform Europe, to bring Europe to a new chapter, to open a new chapter for Europe. And what do I mean with this? One promise is for us that we bring Europe economically in a better shape. We have today still the situation that people are forced to leave their home region only to get a better paid job, to find better job opportunities. And I want to guarantee to you that we have to make clear that all over Europe we have to guarantee equal living conditions, that nobody is forced anymore to leave his home region only for finding a better job. That is one of the promises we give as EPP. And therefore we need a stable euro without additional debts. We have to find also a way for modern innovation, and we have to find a way to being ready for global trade, because trade is bringing a lot of new jobs to Europe. A second promise we give is having 2015 in mind, and you in Slovenia experienced this. That was the migration crisis in 2015, where a lot of people came to Europe. And that's why we as EPP are the party of border protection. I was in the Bulgarian-Turkish border. Boyko Borisov, a prime minister of our party, is governing Bulgaria. I was there. I saw together with Boyko Borisov the Turkish-Bulgarian border. There is on the one side a 50-meter high Turkish flag, and on the other side a 50-meter high Bulgarian and European flag. And their continents are meeting each other. And Boyko Borisov built up there a fence about 180 kilometers to protect the borders, to guarantee that illegal migration, the model of the smugglers, of the mafia in this region, is fully stopped. In this region, we have 0 illegal migrants. And dear ladies and gentlemen, we as EPP are the party who is protecting the border, and that's why all the politicians who are protecting our borders have our full support as EPP. Full stop. And additionally, we have to care. That's why we need a Marshall Plan for Africa to help people who really need our help. But the precondition for everything is strict border control. There are only 2 elements I want to pick out of our election manifesto we are working currently on. And we will present the Europeans a clear answer for the future. And then people can decide between a left Europe, which is not creating future. In all the countries where the left is governing, we have economic problems. That's why that is not a good approach. And on the other hand, there is the option of a right populist and even nationalistic, egoistic Europe, from Le Pen, from Wilders, from other extremists on this continent. In Germany, the AfD. And the EPP, the Christian Democrats, are in the middle. We are the center of the debate. And what the former generations achieved, we today want to continue this path. Let me conclude with a last final remark. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, this year it's not only about concrete answers on economy, on migration. It is more at stake. It is at stake the question, in which Europe do we want to live? I give you only a few elements of this. One element is that we believe that this continent is based in a common tradition. When you fly through Europe, from Lisbon to Riga, from Athens to Dublin, then you have crossed, you flew through Europe 2 times. And you will find a lot of different cultures, languages, different types of food and so on. Europe is so colorful, we are so diverse, and I think it's good to be an European because we are so colorful. Ladies and gentlemen, but having all the diversity in mind, there is one thing which we have in common. In every village in Europe, in every city in Europe, you will find in the center a Christian church. And that's why I believe Europe is Christian-based, and that is not only a thing for the museum, that is a thing for the future. For us as Christian Democrats, that is important. And ladies and gentlemen, a second consideration about this basic principle is that again the nationalists in Europe praising only the nation. When Le Pen is doing campaign in Paris in France, then she is telling people, be proud about your nation and to hell with Europe. That is what the nationalists tell people all over Europe. And what is our answer? I want to quote, please allow me, a former president of my party in Bavaria. It was Franz Josef Strauss, a former prime minister of Bavaria. And he said, for my country, he said, Bavaria is my home, Germany is my nation, and Europe is my future. And he said with this message, that we don't allow to make a split out of the national and regional identity towards the European identity. To be a proud Slovenian and to be a proud European that belongs together, ladies and gentlemen. And we don't allow that they make a split out of this. Thank you so much, and thank you again for the support I can feel and we can all feel. We are a strong community in Europe, we are a strong People's Party, we are strong Christian Democrats, and we will give also the next years, for the next 5 years, this European Union a good direction. And let me try it finally. Bog si vi Slovenija in Europa. Thank you so much.